Hello, book besties. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ash, and you are watching. I should just do like a smoke shelves. Yeah, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna try to keep this intro as short as I can because I got some things to do right now, but I do want to properly introduce this video. So yeah, as the title says, I am doing the second installment of my I Read 3 series. For this I Read 3, it is books that have been advertised to me a lot on Instagram, / the first ones I saw basically that I could get my hands on in some form or another. Sorry if there was an abrupt angle change or lighting change or whatever. My building's fire alarm went off. So I'm back from that now. This is the third time this week. In the span of a week, I should say. So I'm not really happy with that right now. It's getting very frustrating. Where was I? I get so many advertisements for just books that I've never seen. Most of them are self-pub, but sometimes they're trad pub and I still don't see them. So let's try to broaden my horizons and see if Instagram knows what it's doing. This video idea is not unique. Buying from ads that follow you on different social media platforms, I think it was first popularized by like Sophia Nygaard, but most recently I've been seeing Sierra Schulte do it, which is just like she's a regular big old life and style content type stuff. So I always find those videos really fun. There's not really a product per se. I mean, you can count the book as a product, but everyone's reading tastes are subjective, and it's not like a clothing item where it can be like, yeah, this fits really well if you're this size or whatever. I don't know. I'm trying it. Maybe I'll do a second part if this ends up being really good, because I get books advertised to me all the time. I did actually screen record every time I checked on stories, and I did a few times where I scrolled through my actual feed, but my feed didn't get me that good of response. Like compared to my stories give a lot of ads to me. My Instagram, I was figuring it out. This was the first book that I saw that actually inspired me to do this I Read 3, and it was An Unexpected Kindness. I think that's the title. I mean, you can see the recording. I'll also pop up the cover of the actual book. So yeah, so that's the first book. Let's get into the reading portion of this. Future me, take it away. Hello, I am coming to you with my first update for An Unexpected Kind of Love. I think that's the title. I honestly keep messing it up and I'm really sorry about that. I'm about 50% in. What is the gist of the story? Basically, it follows our main character who is a queer bookseller in the middle of Soho. He's inherited this bookstore that is honestly just struggling. Yeah, it's been in his family for many generations. At the start of the book, we see the character working in the store and he meets the love interest who is an up-and-coming actor from America. It's just following them right now. It's been a very fluffy, domestic type story. Not too much has really happened. Yeah, I won't say much because it's very short feeling. It feels very short, but also kind of feels like not much is happening. So I'm feeling okay about it. It's not game-changing story, but it's fluffy, it's cute. Some stuff moves very quickly, like in terms of the progress of the relationship. They form a connection very fast, which is not my favorite. I like more of a slow burn, but it's not bad. It's really easy to follow. It's kind of just a nice light read. I'm not mad about it. I am enjoying it for what it is. It's been going pretty smoothly for the most part so far, so I'm intrigued to know how the 3/4 struggle will be. Relationship struggle. It's pretty obvious what it's going to be basically. If you have read any other similar type of romance book like this that has this kind of famous person trope, you could probably assume where this is going. What I will say is I really enjoy seeing, now I'll put it this way, as much as I love reading coming out stories because I feel like those are so important for teens and young people, and honestly people of all ages, because it can come out at any point. Sometimes it's nice to see a story following two characters that have been in their queer identities for a while at this point. Both of our characters have had previous relationships and talk at some point about those previous relationships. It's just nice to see that type of story being portrayed because queer people at some point, it's not always a coming out situation. So it's just refreshing to see two people comfortable in their identities having this relationship. I think you see it more obviously in adult and new adult space, like new adult and adult romance stories. It's less likely that you'll see that in teen YA type age group because that is usually the age where most people at least come to terms with their identities. But yeah, I'm a little worried that there might be a forced outing coming up, which does stress me out a little bit because I don't want stories that are like that. I'm really hoping that that is not the case. Obviously, I'm really hoping it doesn't go down that route, but it might, and so I'm preparing for that mentally. Next time I will check in will probably be when I'm done with the book. Bye! Hello. I have a quick ish update on An Unexpected Kind of Love. Where do I begin with this? I'm gonna put a spoiler like right here until I'm done talking about this. Basically, the thing I was hoping wouldn't happen happened. You were doing so well. I'm about 75% into the book, maybe a little bit more at this point, 80%. And obviously the third act conflict needs to come in somehow. It's a romance. It's just how they all are formulated, but they're fun. And I was really hoping that this third act conflict would just be Blake having to go back to the US and them having to figure out long distance and what they really want to do and just their priorities. Nope. Forcible coming out. They had a media article exposing the couple along with like a lot of the other cast, which would be fine. I understand it's a common trope in like celebrity-based media, like book-based, you know. But then Blake goes and says, "I'm not out." I was really hoping that wasn't the case because, yeah, I was just really hoping that wasn't the case. Like I said earlier, I don't love when all queer, I hate forcible coming out stories, although I know it happens, right? It happens. But I was really hoping this wasn't going to be the case, so I'm a bit sad about that. That sucks, and I'm sure it'll be okay or something, but I'm tired of that as a trope. But yeah, I have about 20% left of the book, so I'm gonna try to finish it tonight. Fingers crossed I can finish it in the next couple hours. If not, I'll finish it at some point in the day tomorrow. But yeah, that's my update. See you when I finish this book. Okay, so I have an update for Unexpected Kind of Love, and I'm done. I read the book pretty quickly. It was 3 stars. Mainly, it was nothing like extraordinary. It was very much, you know, standard romance. I enjoyed the characters. I thought they were fun. I thought they were, you know, cute. I still don't really get why they had a sexual encounter before they even knew each other, per se. Ace brain does not compute. It's gonna end up being my phrase. I sit in front of this flag and I say, "Hey, romance novel, ace brain does not compute." No, not me, but sure, go off, have fun. What I ended up not loving about the book was you know how I remember when I like when you remember when I said I was really hoping that the third act conflict was not going to be that one of the characters was going to get outed? Yeah, that happened. Not really happy about that one. I know the main character that we're in their head is very much out of the social media world, but I kind of wish they spoke a little bit more on like that impact, because that's a very serious thing. Like, it happens. The love interest like talked about how the fact that he went home and had a conversation with his dad, and his dad's like not really the most accepting person, and like that's very realistic, and my soul hurts for them, right? But it was just so brushed over because he's like, I think you'll come to love me one day and it's fine, let's be in a relationship now, even though I was super worried my career was going to end because I was outed for being queer of some sort. They don't fully label him. He goes, I think I'm bi, maybe pan. I don't know. I think they said he's bi. But you spoke like freaked out about how you're so worried about this is gonna like ruin your career, and then it was just brushed over for the sake of them getting together in the end. And I'm like, shouldn't there be like a little bit more of a conversation about the impact that this had on like your social media and, you know, your career and your family? And like, yes, you kind of said it, but like, if you're gonna do that storyline, please just do it fully. Give me closure, because right now I'm kind of just like, well, what's your job looking like? Like, yes, you, in the epilogue, you have a job, but so was it a worry for nothing? Like, you know, am I making sense here? If you're gonna do the storyline, flesh it out. Or don't do it at all. Don't out them at all. Make your third act conflict be the fact that you guys have to be from 2 countries, which they sorted out very easily. And I'm like, how are you paying for this? What's going on? For that aspect, if your third act conflict is going to be that you get outed and you're worried about a bunch of shit because of that, please actually explain like the ending. Don't just have your main character mope around it and be like, I'm gonna go get them back. It's like, what if they're still dealing with the fallout of that? And you don't know because like you're not on social media, right? So clearly I'm a little bit griped about that. So yeah, 3 stars. Like, I enjoyed the book up until that third act conflict, and so I think it could have been done a lot better. I think it didn't need to be the third act conflict per se. That's where I'm at with that. First book down of books Instagram advertised to me. Let's move on to book 2 of the video. So book 2, gonna pop up a video now whenever it came up, is Ring of Fire, which I know nothing about. I haven't even bought it yet. I'll probably just get another Kindle edition of it. I'm excited to start it, and I will check in with y'all when I have more to say. Goodbye! So I have an update for Ring of Fire. I am just over halfway through it. I honestly am speeding through this ebook. Not much is happening, but it's quick. It's a quick read. I don't think it's a long book. I'll put it that way. I don't really think it's a long book. I think it's in the 200-page mark, so it's a short book, but I'm not mad about that. sometimes you just need like a short little book to get you going. But yeah, I'm 50% in. It's been many days since I last said I was going to start the book, so that just tells you how my month has been going. I have been doing some reading, just not for this video. Oops, sorry. This is maybe the third or fourth time I push back this video. And let's see, what thoughts do I have? Mostly my thoughts are just their relationship is moving very fast. They interacted twice before they said they loved each other. Interesting. I also still never know how I feel about fae creatures not aging and then falling in love with teenagers. I wish they were at least 18. Still feels a little weird. Ideally like 21 would be the good age. Here we are. So there's that aspect of it too. Like if you're gonna do fae romance, please make them adults. I know it's a YA, but can you at least make them adults? They don't need to have sex or anything. Just make them adults. Things seem like they're about to start picking up now, so I'm excited for that, but we'll see. No guarantees, I guess. And it seems like our main character is starting to learn things as she goes and is starting to make decisions that make sense for her character, and she's learning more about her past and her parents, and you know, things made sense. But there's a lot of this like, I wish I recognized this back in the day, like I know now kind of thing, like where you know she's narrating it herself as if it's in the past. It's kind of annoying. It's like I look back on this day and I think that, I'm like, don't say that. Like it's so obvious things are gonna change. Overall, quick read. I'm not liking it. You know, it's keeping my attention when I'm reading, but I'm not really itching to pick it up. I read through the first half very quickly, so maybe I'll finish it very soon. Hopefully I do, just so I can get this out to y'all soon enough. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this book. I will check in once I am done reading this. That's all I've got for now. I will see you in the next check-in. It is now the next day, and I finished Ring of Fire. We're not gonna talk about how I'm in the same sweater. I promise you it's the next day. It's been a week. I finished Ring of Fire like literally 10 minutes ago, and I'm gonna give it 2 stars. The first half was fine, but it picked up in the weirdest way. The pacing was so odd, and it kind of just felt like there's a lot of telling and not showing, which like I guess is fair. She is growing up like in the blue with everything going on in her life, and then it's just being informed by the people that know more without giving much away. But holy shit, that was so weird. The last half was so weird. Like the ending, like I understand that's where it's going because of what the like actual trilogy after this is, but what? I'm gonna put like spoilers up for this one because I don't think I can talk about this without talking spoilers in this book, and I know not many people have read it, so skip it if you want. She's pregnant at the end, but like when did they have the time to have sex? Like what the fuck? They're literally always in a field like behind her house. Again, she's a teen. She's like 16 and he is definitely way older than her, and I know like they age differently, but I'm like, please still just make her 18 at least, preferably at least 21. Yeah, I did not like that too much. The whole like last couple chapters, basically like they're in war, which is fine, whatever, sure, but they're like, you can't fight, you're not a soldier, go hide, we need you for our destiny. I'm like, sure, fine, whatever. She's not a soldier. She's just been like informed on stuff. But then like she has a vision that Aslan dies, like her love interest, but then she is also not a vision, but it's like a dream, but it's not a dream. So I'm really confused by that whole point. They made it seem like it was a dream, but also it wasn't a dream, but also she didn't see him die. I literally don't understand what happened in like the last few chapters. I'm not gonna lie. It all kind of just went like, whoop. You bring her dad out of nowhere. You bring a full-on war out of nowhere, even though you're like hinting at it, but like it went from, oh, we like have spies to, this is a full-on war. What the fuck? Generally the whole like telling, not showing to our main character is a lot of like, this is what your mother did, and this is who I am, and this is what happened in the last 1,000 years, and I'm like, okay. It was something. Like I think it would have been a 3-star had that second half not been so odd. That was something. I'm glad I read it because I've never heard of it, and sometimes I like going out of my way to read things that I would have never heard of either like anyway. It's self-pub, I think only got like 50 ratings, so I'm glad that it was advertised to me, but you could definitely tell it's self-pub in that sense. I mean, just beyond the pacing, there were a lot of spelling and grammar mistakes, which I don't like to point out, but it was noticeable because it kind of threw off some of the quotes. Some of the quotes were a little bit off with the misdone quotation marks. I mean, overall it wasn't a bad story. I think I could see why this would be good for like a younger YA, except for like, not really. Interesting concept. I just think it could have been executed a little better, and it didn't really follow like standard fae rules, which like totally fine. Our like elf character just flat out lied to our main character a few times. but it's for her own good, of course. But he like flat out liked her, and I'm like, oh, that's just not something I'm used to seeing in Faye stories. Now that that's over, let's go into our last and final book. Yes, I'm putting up the screen recording of when I was searching for this one, and I have a physical copy of this one. I'm really happy that this got advertised to me. I don't know what like Instagram higher deity was looking down at me and said she wants to read this, so they're gonna get it on their ads. And that book is Iron Widow. Yes. This book I've been wanting to read since I heard about it, like so badly. It's definitely one of my most anticipated reads, and I'm so excited to start it. Probably not tonight, but hopefully I'll get to read it throughout the weekend. What do I know about it? I know it's polyamorous. It's low-key based off of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh! And I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was younger, and that was not the popular series of my childhood. Obviously like Pokemon, but like Yu-Gi-Oh! Was great. I had Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, so I'm intrigued to see like where that comes in here. Anyways, I'm gonna go read this and check in with you when I'm halfway, unless I have more dire thoughts beforehand. So I have my first check-in for Iron Widow. I am on page 201, so just about over halfway. I am really enjoying it so far. I think this is the one that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Inspired, and I can kind of see it. I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. I had a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I don't think I know anyone else who did, but I actually really enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot. I also like Pokemon, but like, so I am really enjoying the book so far. Like I said, I'm about halfway in, so stuff is going down, shit is happening. I'm shocked this book is labeled as YA. It feels like it should be new adult. It is pretty violent and just generally feels like not a YA book, but I'm really enjoying it. Honestly, 5-star right now. Honestly, this has made me very intrigued to learn more about Zaitan. I hope I'm really pronouncing her name right. Oh, I fully just dyslexiated that. Zaichan? I really should look up how to pronounce that. But I'm really enjoying the story. There have been some lovely moments between our three people. Honestly, writing's really good. It started out a little slow. I was a little confused in the beginning, but it's a sci-fi book, I think. I'm still torn between whether it's sci-fi or fantasy. I asked people who read the book to tell me. I'm getting very mixed answers, like pretty much split. I'm gonna say it's sci-fi. It feels more sci-fi than fantasy. It definitely feels like it has elements of both. Like any sci-fi world, it takes a little while to get into, but it was very quick paced for the first 200 pages, and I'm excited to see where it goes. It feels like a lot is happening, our relationships are getting developed, and I feel like we're starting to see like our flip in Zaichan. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Definitely a super interesting concept. I'm really enjoying this book, and I really just don't have any coherent thoughts right now, so that's all y'all getting from me now. I'll check back in when I'm done. So it is many hours later, and I have finished Iron Widow, and number one, just stunning book cover. One of the prettiest book covers of this year's releases. Anyways, I am coming to check in because I finished the book, and I feel like you can tell by my excitement. This was 5 stars. So good. I am so glad that this was a success, because if this was one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Sorry if you're having noises. I have the window open. It's really late, so there shouldn't be too many noises, but still, this freaking book, holy shit. I loved the relationship developments. I think I kind of mentioned that. I absolutely just adored Zaichan. My dyslexia really is just not letting me say that properly. I loved Zaichan. I loved the way the 3 of them just all had very believable connections with each other. And holy shit, that fucking ending, I was about to cry. I am fucking reeling. I still might cry, honestly. I'm stressed. I want the next book now. I'm stressed from that ending. Spoilers. Skip through this if you don't want to be spoiled. You'll know when the thing is gone. Holy shit. I really thought our boy was dead. I mean, he like low-key is, but I like really thought he was gone. Because she kind of just like went off and did her shit, which like, go off, girl boss, gatekeep, gaslight. When she finally came back, because I was like, please tell me you're going back for him. And they're like, LOL, the gods. And then they're like, LOL, it's not your planet. I'm clearly just so shook by that ending. My thoughts are so incoherent right now. Oh my god. Like, seriously? Girl boss, gatekeep, gaslight for real. Like, in all senses. That's like this entire book. Just girl bossing, gatekeeping, gaslighting. As she should. With her male wife, mansplaining, manipulating boyfriends. I have so many thoughts about this. And I feel like I can't even begin to properly communicate any of them. I literally I sat there for the last like 10 pages just like flipping. Please tell me he's alive. Flipping. Please tell me he's alive. Just like flipping. I know the second book of the series is supposed to release next year, and I really hope it does. I want this, I want this, I want this in my hands now. Calm yourself down. Calm yourself down. That was incredible. If you're at all interested in this book, please read it. It is so good. I've seen so much love for it, and like rightfully so. Truly 5 stars. Super deserved. My only thought is that this should be, I think I mentioned this, but this should be a new adult book rather than a YA. I know the implied sex scene was like fade to black. All the characters are 18 plus. I'm not sure why it wasn't new adult because it's very gory. But also I know publishing is just so weird about putting things into new adult, especially if it's not like a romance book. But this is the perfect like new adult book. Incredible book. I have no words. Please read this. I hope the release date is announced soon because all I know right now is it's 2022, but I don't think a cover's been revealed. I don't think a date's been revealed. I hope the cover's just as pretty as this one because this one is like, I mean, it wraps around. It's so pretty. That book concludes this. I read 3 advertised books to me by Instagram on a very high note, I might add. But that's it. That's the vlog. I really like doing this, specifically with the ads. It definitely introduced me to a few new books that I would not have picked up and one that I would have. But ever since I had been searching for ads, I've been getting a lot more books being advertised to me. And it makes me want to do another round of this eventually because I think it's fun to go out of your comfort zone in terms of authors, finding new authors. And yeah, sometimes it can be a fun challenge. So next time a book is advertised to you on Instagram, maybe consider, I think it's 4 in the morning. Shh, I didn't say that. Next time a book is advertised to you through Instagram that you never heard of, consider giving it a shot if you have the ability to read it in some fashion. That's it. That's all I've got for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please give this video a big fat like down below. Comment down if you have read any of these books and what you thought about them. I would love to know. Let's comment down a fire emoji down below if you have made it to this point in the video because fire is a really big theme of this book. Lets me know that you have watched to this point in the video. And if you really like my content, please consider subscribing. It would mean the absolute world to me if you stuck around. I hope to see you in my next video.